Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I am going to ruffle some feathers because we are going to talk about the 5 mistakes that people make when decluttering that actually will make your life harder rather than easier. And these typically, almost always, will backfire on you if you do them when you are decluttering. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Flora, certified simplification coach and 7-time author. And for over 28 years, I've been helping women like you align into a life and a business that you are wildly obsessed with by helping you clear out the 9 types of clutter keeping you from the life that you absolutely are obsessed with and the life that you love. So before we get started, make sure that you hit that notification bell so you know every single time an episode is released. And of course, make sure that you subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, at the end of the video, click the links below so that you can sign up for all of my free decluttering resources that I have for you on my website. Let's break down the 5 decluttering mistakes that will in fact backfire for you. Number 1 is you're dumping without deciding. Now, the mistake here is that you're tossing everything into donation bags just to get it out. If you don't actually decide what to do with each item, your brain doesn't get that clarity hit. It doesn't get that sense of completion with each bag or box. And this is actually avoidance in disguise. Why this backfires is, again, you're not actually making conscious choices. You're just outsourcing your choices to someone else. So what happens is the clutter is going to be gone, but your indecision is still lingering. So what do you do instead of this? Give yourself enough time to declutter without feeling rushed, without feeling like you have a specific deadline that is so close that is making you feel like you have no choice but to just shove it out. And when you give yourself ample time, you can actually make a clear decision for each and every item. Number 2 is decluttering other people's stuff. And this is the one that I get the most pushback on. So the mistake here is purging your partner's closet or your kids' toys without their consent. Why this backfires? This usually starts the conversation with a question of, why did you get rid of my, and then fill in the blank. This can create massive resentment. This can lead to fights, and this is actually a breach of trust with that other person. And if you're really resisting me on this one, I want to ask you, what if they tossed your stuff because they didn't like it? What if you have like your favorite sweater and maybe there's holes in it, but every time you wear it, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's so good. Maybe it's like your sick sweater that you wear every time that you're sick or you have a cold or whatever. Or maybe it's your favorite, whatever the heck. Again, fill in the blank. But they didn't like it. And so all of a sudden you go to grab that thing or you see it in your closet and you know that it's there, but it's very sentimental. But all of a sudden you go and now it's gone. And you realize they tossed it because they didn't like it. And oh, well, you never use it anyway. Again, this creates a breach of trust between you and that other person. And it also creates emotional and mental clutter that is way bigger than anything that you may have tossed. So what do you do instead of tossing somebody else's stuff? Focusing on decluttering your own stuff first. And usually the family will follow along sooner or later. Now, oftentimes it is sooner rather than later that they'll follow suit when they recognize you're getting your stuff out and the whole house is feeling a lot lighter. And you also have that donation box strategically placed where they can see it getting filled up, hopefully pretty regularly. So then sooner or later, again, they're going to start tossing their own stuff in the donation box. Now, moving on to number 3, organizing instead of decluttering. The mistake here is buying bins and labels and shelving and all the things before you let go of anything. Why this backfires is because you end up storing clutter in prettier containers. That's not decluttering, that's just expensive hoarding. So what do you do instead? Declutter first, then organize. Number 4 is decluttering without addressing the emotional attachments for each thing. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make is forcing yourself to get rid of sentimental stuff without processing the feelings. This is one of the reasons why I recommend that people declutter literally everything else first and then sentimental stuff. So why does this backfire? It backfires because you are going to regret releasing sentimental stuff without processing the feelings. Or worse, you might replace it with something else to just kind of numb the loss of that particular thing. And this cycle is going to continue until you face the emotional stuff behind each of those sentimental pieces. So what do you do instead? You give yourself enough time to peruse through all of your sentimental stuff before deciding what to do with it, whether it is to archive it or get rid of it or save it. Now, you can also hire a decluttering coach like myself to help you make these tough choices for you, or actually better said, just to help you navigate the emotions and the decision of whether or not to save or get rid of that particular thing. So we're not actually making it for you, but we're helping you to navigate those big emotions that come with those sentimental things. All right, moving on to number 5 is decluttering all at once. The mistake here is marathon sessions where you empty every single closet in a weekend or an entire attic in a weekend when literally it's been sitting there for maybe 30 years. Why this backfires? Well, overwhelm will typically set in and you quit halfway through, and then now your space is way messier than it was before and your motivation has tanked, so then you just kind of leave it there. So what do you do instead? Well, decluttering actually works the best when you work in focused sprints. And this could look like working with me as your coach during a 90-day group decluttering sprint, or privately. It could also be 10 to 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 hours on the weekend. Pick kind of your time frame that feels the best for you and work in those sprints, and give yourself permission to recognize and understand that all of this clutter did not accumulate overnight. It's accumulated gradually. So give yourself permission to go through it gradually. Now, there are some occasions where someone has passed on and you have accumulated a bunch of clutter overnight because you've schlepped all their stuff from their space into your space, and now you have to figure out what to do with it. One of my favorite quotes is by Eleanor Brown, and she says, "Clutter is not just physical stuff. It's old ideas, toxic relationships, and bad habits. Clutter is anything that does not support your better self." Now that you've heard these 5 mistakes that will absolutely backfire when you do them, which one are you guilty of doing? Go ahead and post it in the comments below. Now, I want you to remember that decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. If you're not intentional, it can and will backfire and often keep you stuck in the very same cycle that you're trying to get out of. Now, if this resonates with you, I have opened up spots in my calendar for private clutter review sessions. Together, we will sort through what's keeping you stuck, what you want to release, and what you're really ready to stop repeating in your life over and over again. So if this resonates with you and you want a private session with me, click the link below. Let's talk. Also, if you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and be sure to click that notification bell so you know every single time an episode is released. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.